Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Well, I got my Brigade Con 2016 t-shirt, so I'm pretty pumped because I look badass now. It was a lot of fun participating in that. It's funny. I've been posting videos, and posting some stuff on the Brigade, and I'm getting some video responses and some text responses, on like the Facebook group. And it's twisted because all of a sudden I'm thinking of video responses to video responses. So I wonder how far down the rabbit hole something like that would go. But I'd like to thank, let's see who we got, Macabre Derek and Complex Games Apologist for replying, doing some VRs to my videos recently, which were very entertaining and thought-provoking. So thanks a lot, guys. Anyhow, I get decided, maybe I was talking to Runeslinger, said, yeah, good idea, because I was thinking, yeah, maybe I'll continue on this little miniature on again, off again series on the books on my shelves, and probably tie most of them into role-playing games a little bit. So I want to talk about one of my favorite books, and you may think it's a little corny, and then just talk about the topic that it kind of inspires for me. One of the topics. Glory Road, Robert Heinlein, one of my favorites. Just I guess you could describe it as science fantasy. It kind of flip-flops between science fiction and fantasy, and it probably spends most of the time in fantasy, but entertaining story. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but there's a main character, there's Scar, and he gets all entangled with Star and Rufo and goes on some damn fool adventure. But the guy gets changed. He was already kind of going in the direction of being kind of a guy that was drawn to adventure or having to do that. But after going on all these adventures and whatnot, he finally goes home, to the real world, which happens to be like Earth, and just wasn't working well for him. It wasn't working. He said he's got acculturated. Let me see. Here's a line right here. A man must work at his trade, which wives know. And he couldn't take it, and he finally ended up going back to this life of adventure. So I want to talk a little bit about being a murder hobo, and just a little bit, and not entirely defending that whole mindset, but just a little bit, because in some way, our hero Scar, bit of a murder hobo when it comes right down to it. And why is that? I found some great inklings of why that might be. Although I already kind of know, but in this book, great little line. And I'm not going to really. They have a little chapter on specialists, which are thieves, by the way. But James has this great little introduction to specialists, and it says, "Fighters are adventurers because they're so inured to death that they cannot settle down to a normal life. Magic users are those who have pursued the dark arts and are no longer welcome in society. Clerics are charged by their god to go forth and perform their special duties. Specialists, they do it because they want to. Whether inspired by greed, boredom, or idle curiosity, specialists are professional explorers risking life and limb simply because a less active life is distasteful to them." So why adventure? Why are these people wandering around being hobos? Well, because they have to. I like that mojo. I like that vibe. It doesn't have to be the motivation for every single character and every single adventure and every single game system. But a lot of times, to me, I never really thought, well, geez, why are we doing this a lot of times? But I tended to play, and work, played with people that tended to play characters. Well, this is what they had to do. This is what they did. So, I don't know. I dig that vibe, and so me, I don't mind that. I mean, clearly there's a line that gets crossed with the murder hobo thing, where you're just killing everything that walks, which I don't really dig either. But people like us adventurers, we seek these thrills, we seek danger, we seek adventure because we have to. It's not a choice. What do you think about that?